All right, guys, welcome back to Six Ass Society Stuff You Won't Remember Next Week, the show where we sift through the nonsense and deliver it straight to your brain like an expired can of Spam. And today, we've got a lineup of absolute chaos. First up, Hollywood is at it again, serving us the most controversial film since Cats. The Snow White remake, better known as Woke White and the Seven Lawsuits. Disney's been tweaking, backpedaling, and scrambling to convince people that, no, really, this is exactly what they meant to do all along. Spoiler alert, nope. But before we can even process that mess, let's talk about something truly terrifying. 23andMe is bankrupt and your genetic data is officially up for sale. That's right, some faceless corporate overlord is about to own your entire DNA sequence, and privacy experts are issuing a red alert. The only way to protect yourself now is to delete all your DNA immediately. So grab a scalpel, some bleach, and a priest, because in 2025, the safest identity is no identity at all. And finally, and things that definitely shouldn't have broken the internet but somehow did, fitness influencer Natalie Barnett just set social media on fire by announcing her new woman-only gym in London, but only for biological women. Which is quite the plot twist, considering that back in 2021, she told anyone who had a problem with trans women joining to kindly jog on. Well, it turns out the internet never forgets, and now she's smack in the middle of a full-scale digital inferno. So buckle up. This episode is packed with lawsuits, lost DNA, and lifting weights with extra controversy. Let's get into it.
Oh, Lord, I'm so bored. Oh, Lord, I'm so bored.
All right, let's get into this absolute fever dream. Disney, a company that somehow made a rat the face of corporate greed, decided to take Snow White, a beloved classic fairy tale, and throw it into the identity crisis blender. First up, let's talk about the lead, Rachel Zegler. If you don't know who she is, congratulations. You probably have a job and a life. Zegler, who has about as much warmth as an eviction notice, got herself into some hot water for publicly dragging the movie she's starring in. Imagine signing up for a job and then immediately complaining about how much it sucks. Oh wait, that's called retail. But here's the kicker. She said the original Snow White was weird because it's about a woman waiting for a prince to save her. How terrible, a fairy tale where romance exists? And look, I get it. Times change. Maybe Snow White doesn't need a prince anymore. Fine. But what does she need? Apparently, girl boss energy. They're making her a leader. You know what that means. Corporate Disney speak for she's going to lecture everyone for 2 hours while CGI characters get to do all the fun stuff. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why does this matter? Who cares? You're right. No one does. Because by the time this movie actually came out, people had moved on to whatever fresh disaster Hollywood was cooking up. Maybe another Morbius sequel. Morbius 2, it's Morbin time again. I don't know. The possibilities are endless. But here's what does matter. This is just another example of Hollywood taking something people actually like and Frankensteining it into what is being described by some as a lifeless, preachy lecture. And the best part, when it bombed, they blamed the audience. It wasn't us. You guys just weren't ready for it. Yeah, sure. That's why everyone watched Barbie 5 times last year. So here's my advice. Skip it. Rewatch the original, or better yet, go outside, touch some grass, maybe find your own 7 dwarfs. And by that, I mean friends, because if you're still mad about this, you might need some. Next, story. Okay, listen, you thought that deleting your search history was enough? That clearing your cookies made you safe? That opting out of targeted ads would somehow keep the Illuminati from tracking you? How adorable. No, you need to take it further. I mean, to 11. You need to go full digital detox, but for your genome. Now, if you were wild enough to spit into a tube and mail it to a Silicon Valley startup, congrats. Your unique biological blueprint is now a clearance rack item at a data broker flea market. And that means only one thing. You must manually scrub all traces of DNA from your blood, your skin, your brain, and whatever else DNA is currently loitering in your body like a squatter who refuses to leave. Now, how does one delete their DNA? Excellent question. The World Privacy Forum has issued a 4-step plan to completely genetically annihilate all your DNA. Number 1, full body chemical peel. Your skin cells contain DNA, and the only responsible thing to do is slough them all off. Yes, you will be walking around like a raw chicken breast for a few weeks, but what's a little discomfort compared to the possibility of a future employer buying your genetic data and rejecting your job application because you have the anxiety gene? Number 2, completely drain and replace your blood. Now, I don't know how, figure it out. I mean, maybe call one of those rogue biohackers on Reddit, or see if there's a deal on secondhand plasma at a strip mall clinic in Vegas. The important thing is that no original blood remains. 3, thoroughly rinse your mouth with industrial grade bleach. Your spit is a liability. Gargle like your privacy depends on it, because it does. Swish, swirl, spit, repeat. Number 4, get a brain transplant. This one might be a little tricky, but you gotta think ahead, and preferably with a new brain that doesn't have your data written all over it, right? If that's too difficult, at least try running a magnet or something over your skull to scramble the genetic code a little. It worked on my old hard drive, so it should be fine. Oh, what's that you say? You think this is crazy? I'm crazy? You think this is extreme? Buddy, you clicked accept all cookies on that DNA website years ago. It's over. The second you let Big Ancestry scan your chromosomes for fun family facts, you gave them permission to package and sell you like a genetically inferior Pokemon card. I guarantee some dystopian CEO is out there drinking a $40 oat milk latte while browsing a catalog of DNA profiles like it's an Amazon Prime Day sale. Ooh, this one's got an increased risk of heart disease and likes reality TV. How quirky, I'll take it. Add to cart. And let's not even get into the fact that some billionaire in Dubai is probably 3D printing a clone of you as we speak. Great. Now there's another you out there probably doing CrossFit and stealing your credit score. So what are you going to do about it? Just sit there full of DNA like some amateur? Or are you going to take action? Because let's be clear. If you still have even a single strand of genetic material in your body, by the end of the week, you're basically walking around with a billboard that says, please steal my identity and clone me into a corporate serf. So get to work, folks. Burn it off, bleach it out, delete your genome before it's too late. And if you need me, I'll be in an underground bunker intravenously pumping out the last of my DNA while live streaming my final moments as a sovereign genetic being. Next story. All right, breaking news. It's not breaking. I just saw it's breaking to me. That's what it means. It's breaking to me. Woman opens a woman-only gym. The internet explodes, and in today's episode, we wrap it up with this story of things that definitely won't break the internet, but somehow did. Fitness influencer Natalie Barnett, who has been hyping up her upcoming London-based fitness club, The Girls Spot, for years, recently announced that the space would now be exclusively for biological women. This is, of course, a sharp departure from her 2021 stance where she declared that trans women would be welcome, telling critics to kindly jog on. That's British slang for keep on trucking. if they had a problem with it. But in the grand tradition of people realizing Twitter is forever, that old post resurfaced and, well, cue the digital inferno. The scandal no one asked for, Barnett's lengthy camera-facing explanation, because nothing says sincerity like a front-facing iPhone monologue, attempted to clarify her position, citing safety, harassment, and the gym's additional focus on self-defense classes and menstrual cycle training, topics she argues are unique to biological women. She did, however, generously acknowledge that everyone deserves a safe space before directing trans women to other gyms with mixed changing rooms, which is kind of like telling someone who was invited to dinner 4 years ago that they could still eat, just not at your table. But hey, at least she still believes inclusivity. Just over there. Internet lawyers assemble. Social media verdict was predictably mixed, split neatly into two equally furious camps. On one side, gender-critical feminists cheered, declaring Barnett a hero for drawing a hard biological line in the dumbbell rack, and on the other, trans advocates and their allies accusing her of backpedaling, discrimination, and in some cases, hoping her gym fails spectacularly. But the real question started popping up when people asked the most pressing logistical issue. How exactly will this be enforced? Will new members be required to bring a birth certificate, submit DNA samples at the front desk? Maybe she should hook up with 23andMe. She's already got a client list right there. Maybe they'll participate in a squat challenge where the ability to do deadlifts under a certain weight proves their womanhood. Will particularly ripped cis women be pulled aside for further investigation? Barnett has yet to address this, likely because there's no good answer that doesn't sound like a TSA checkpoint for gender identity. A gym, but make it political, of course. All of this is happening against the backdrop of an increasingly vicious global debate over trans rights, with sporting bodies, lawmakers, and Twitter warriors alike taking their respective corners all over the place. Across the pond, back home in my good old home of the US of A, President Donald Trump recently signed an executive order barring trans women from competing in female sports, ensuring that America remains an international leader in solving the real problems of the world, like who can throw a javelin where. The UK has been similarly divided, with critics on both sides claiming victimhood in the never-ending debate of whose rights are more oppressed. And now, because why not, a boutique fitness club is ground zero for the latest battle in the gender wars. What happens next? Well, despite the chaos, the girls' spot, I think it's already open, or it's set to open this spring, complete with pink-themed websites and a waiting list for potential members eager to experience a safe, protected space. Whether this turns into a thriving business model or just another cultural flashpoint remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, Barnett's gym will never need to spend a single cent on advertising again. After all, nothing quite sells like controversy. And there you have it, another week of absolute nonsense, gift-wrapped and hand-delivered straight to your frontal lobe. Disney's still out there trying to rewrite fairy tales, and reality, 23andMe just turned your entire genetic code into an NFT for the highest bidder, and social media is once again proving that past tweets age like milk left in the sun. So what have we learned? If you want to avoid controversy, maybe don't promise everyone a gym membership and then start checking DNA at the door. If you ever considered sending your spit to a tech company for fun, congratulations. Your clone army is already in production. And if you're Disney, maybe, just maybe, quit trying to fix what isn't broken. If you like today's episode, make sure you to subscribe, rate, and share it with your most paranoid friend. You know, the one who still thinks their webcam is spying on them. Spoiler. It is. And if you've got a hot take on Snow White, data privacy, or gym drama, hit us up in the comments or slide into our DMs, because in this economy, the only thing we love more than chaos is engagement. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay safe, and maybe, just maybe, don't sell your DNA to strangers. Success Society, stay paranoid, stay untraceable, and for the love of God, stop mailing your DNA to strangers.